Bonjour! I get so many questions about the makeup brushes that I have in my kit, and I often have conversations with other makeup artists about all the different brands of makeup brushes, which one we like, which one we don't. So today I'm going to tell you everything about what I currently have in my kit. Honestly, I feel like with makeup brushes, it comes down to personal preferences. They really have to work with your style of makeup, with your gesture, and also depending on how you're taking care of your brushes, it might affect the way that they perform and their longevity. Obviously, there is different qualities of brushes as well, that's for sure. So I'm going to start by sharing with you the ones that I love and that I keep repurchasing, and we'll slowly go towards the brand that I didn't really like. In first position, I'm going to put the brushes from Real Techniques. You've probably heard about it. They've been around for so long, and I know that they are very popular for makeup artists, but also for personal use. I've tried most of their brushes at this point, and I can tell you that all of them are great. And why I'm putting them in first position today, it's because the value and the quality of the brushes is uncomparable. You can't find better brushes at this price range. I've had some of their brushes for, I would say, 6 or 7 years, like these ones, the silver ones. I believe they were a limited edition, and they are still in my kit to this day. Not a single bristle came off. They are still very soft, still very fluffy. I like this one for light powdering, bronzer. I love this one for blending. So again, it was a limited edition, but they have pretty similar styles and all of them work really well. But the one that I absolutely love, and I have maybe 8 in my kit, it's this one. I believe they are called the blending brush. I use it for everything. I use it to apply the foundation, I use it to powder, to do the contouring, to do the blush, and I find that it's not super easy to find brushes that are on the smaller size like this one, and that's the style of brushes that I prefer using just because I have more control and more precision on my makeup application. The bristles are really soft and fluffy, and they are not too dense, which is really great for blending products because it just makes it very easy and effortless. I use them on most of my jobs, which means that they get clean very often, and I also sanitize them with alcohol, which can be damaging for some brushes, but this one have been holding so well. To find a brush that quality and that shape for less than $10 is absolutely incredible. You can just get it on Amazon, so I'll put a link in the description box, and if you haven't tried it yet, you absolutely should, and I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed. Another brand that I love, even though I discovered it pretty recently, is Delium. It's a professional brand, so the price is like mid-range, but I can tell just by looking at it that these brushes are really high quality and that they are going to last for a very long time. It's a brand that's very popular in makeup artist kits. I have so many friends who use them all the time and have been using them for years. And for once, most people agree that they are great and that they are worth it. Because it's a professional brand, they have a lot of unique designs and shapes. For example, these ones, it's from the collection Golden Triangle, which means that the handle here has a triangular shape, so you can get a really good grip on the brush and have a smoother gesture. It's also helpful when you're cleaning your brushes and they're full of soap, your hands are wet, and it's hard to have a good grip on the brush. And another thing that's a detail but that I find it very useful is that when you're putting your brushes laying down on your makeup table, or for example when you're drying them, well, because of the triangular shape, they don't roll on the table and end up on the floor. That's something that I love and that I find very practical. But yes, besides that, the Golden Triangle brushes are the more luxury line. I would say they are a little bit more expensive, but they are really worth it. They have, for example, that one that's like a taper foundation brush. It has like a sort of double angle, so I can really press down the pigments with the flat side and build my coverage a lot quicker. And with the other side of the brush, I would usually come and like blend down my contouring. I love a double-sided brush because I'm only using one brush instead of two, and it's great when you have to do makeup on multiple people, like a bridal party, for example. And I also have the smaller one that has exactly the same shape. I love it to apply concealer, to press down the pigments and build the coverage. I find that this is ideal. There's a few other brushes in the Golden Triangle line that I really love. For example, this one, the 942, it has the same shape as a blush brush, a regular blush brush, but it's a lot smaller. Also the 945 that has just a round shape like that. And I really love some of their eye brushes as well because they have some smaller ones. I find that a lot of eye brushes are just so big. So when you have a client or someone that has not a lot of lid space, you need brushes that are obviously a bit smaller, and they have a lot of great ones. And Delium also has their classic line of brushes, which is with a yellow handle like these ones. And I wanted to give them a try. I placed an order on the Delium website during their Black Friday sale, and they had one of these 12 classic brushes kit that was super cheap. I was like, okay, whatever. Even if the quality is not as good, at least I want to give it a try. Obviously they are cheaper, so the quality is not as good as the Golden Triangle ones, but it's still pretty decent, and especially for the price, I think it's good. Like the shades are great, they are blending well, they are not shedding at all, so the quality is still okay. The only thing that I would not really recommend is the ones like the bigger brushes for the face, like this one for example, the 974. It's a very big powder brush. You can really feel that the bristles are not the highest quality, they are not very soft, and I'm afraid that if I'm applying powder on someone, it might feel a little spiky, especially because this brush is brand new, so after a few wash they would get even more stiff. So I would stay away from the bigger brushes, but the smaller ones are 100% worth it and very decent quality for the price. The next brand that I love and that I use constantly is my brushes from Spectrum Brushes. It's a brand from the UK. I got this set that was in collaboration with Katie Jane Hughes, who is a makeup artist. So the shape of the brushes are very interesting. Like this one, for example, that's once again same style as the brushes that I love, but it's great for the under eye, it's great for detail application. And that one, that's like a super tiny liner brush that allows you to do a very precise line. And that's the only set that I've tried from the brand, so I can't tell you if the quality of the brushes are all the same, but I would assume so. They are stunning, they are simple, they are elegant, which is exactly what I love. The bristles are probably the softest I have ever put my hands on. The only thing that's kind of weird is that these brushes, after cleaning them with water and soap, they take so much longer to dry than any of my other brushes. My theory is that the bristles are so fine, that's why the brushes are very soft, but they have to be very compact to give the brush a nice density. I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe that's the reason why. Anyways, it doesn't really matter anymore because now I have my foot dehydrator to dry my brushes. The price of these brushes is decent, it's medium range, but the quality is high. I've only had maybe a couple of brushes that were starting to shed, but I've been using them constantly for over 2 years now, so I find that it's pretty normal. None of them have the paint that have cracked, the glue is still holding really well, so zero complaint about it. This set also came with a brush holder that's really great and that I use all the time, so I think this set is definitely worth giving a try. Now we are arriving like in the mid-range. It's the brushes that I use, but I probably would not repurchase. And I'm gonna start with the My Kitco ones. I've had so many conversations with people that bought them and were very disappointed by the quality, because they said that the paint was cracking right away in the very first weeks of being used. It hasn't happened to me. I really love using the brushes that I have from the brand, especially these three. This one, the powder one, is one of my favorites for bronzer or for light powdering. This angle lip brush that I love using when I'm doing bold lip, it's perfect just to draw a crisp line. And also this one that I use for highlighter, for concealer, for foundation sometimes. The only reason why I'm not going to purchase more brushes from the brand is because I think they are a little overpriced. They are expensive, especially because it's a brand from the UK. So when you do the conversion and the shipping and the taxes, in the end they end up being very expensive, and I just don't think it's worth it. I placed an order because I love the creator of the brand, James Molloy. He's one of the best makeup artists. He's like a very big inspiration to me, but I don't think the price is justified, so I'm gonna keep using these brushes. I'm really enjoying them, but I don't think I'll place an order anytime soon. Another brand that I'm not going to buy brushes from is Sephora collection. I have a lot of their brushes in my kit. I have to say that I like their eye brushes. Their blending brushes are some of my favorite because, again, they are very soft, not too dense, so I find that they give a very seamless blend. But I find that it's very easy to make okay quality eye brushes because the bristles are so like small anyways that even if the quality is really low, they're still gonna do their job. But the bigger brushes are not worth it. The price is very high and the quality is very low. That's probably the only brushes in my kit that have had a really big problem with shedding and with the glue just like coming off. So it's pretty bad because a single brush is around $40, which is a luxury price. For example, I have two of these foundation brushes, the 56. So you can see that this one still has a decent shape, but look at that one, that's exactly the same thing. Basically what happened is that the glue inside is not holding the bristles anymore. You can see that the shape is really weird and uneven now, so I had to stop using it, and it happened to most of my Sephora collection brushes for the face. For example, I have that brush, so it's dirty because I use it for myself now. Like when a brush is about to break or is shedding a little, I move it from my kit to my personal brushes so I can let it die in peace and keep using it for a little. If I pull the bristles, they come off like right away, and I was not pulling hard at all. And also the handle is super wobbly. You can tell that the glue inside is not holding much at all and is probably going to break very soon. I didn't pay for this brush, they were gifted to me, but if I did, I would be very upset. So instead of getting these ones, just go for the Real Techniques. They are 5 times cheaper and 5 times better for sure. At some point, I needed to buy a full kit of brushes because I just didn't have enough. So I went for the brand Zoeva, and I honestly don't think it was a wise investment. I don't think it was worth it because the brushes are very simple. The shapes are the most basic you can find. The quality of the bristle is not good, but it's not the worst either. I mean, for the price you're paying, I think it's fine. But I find that it's brushes that should be for your little cousin that's like 14 and that's learning how to do makeup. If you're a professional makeup artist or if you want to become one, I would really tell you to skip, try to find a different brand, just because the quality is not professional at all and they look more like like Claire's brushes, for example. You know, it's almost like a toy. Even if you don't want to spend too much money on brushes, I really do think that you can find maybe more affordable brushes that have a better quality. I find that Zoeva, it's like in the middle, where it's like cheap quality, but the price is a little bit too high for what it is. And also the handle of the brushes is very, very short, which is okay when you're doing your own makeup, but if you're doing makeup on someone else, you don't have a full control on your brush, and it's kind of weird because you're really, really close to the person's face, if that makes sense. I still have maybe a couple of their brushes in my kit. Most of them, I use them for myself now, but that's a brand that I would not invest more money on. And the last brand that's the worst, according to me, but there is a big debate over this brand, it's the Morphe brushes. I know some makeup artists that really love Morphe brushes because they almost use them as disposable brushes. They use them for a few months, and as soon as the brush starts cracking, they replace them with fresh ones, versus investing more money in luxury brushes and keeping them for multiple years. So that's just a different opinion, different point of view. Both are correct. I just personally prefer to invest my money in something that I know is going to last for a long time and I'm not going to have to buy again. Morphe brushes are obviously very affordable, which is great for some people because you don't always want to spend a lot of money on brushes. For professional use, you get the quality that you pay for. I bought some of them in the past just because sometimes they have really good sales, and obviously when you can get a brush for $4, you know, it seems like an opportunity, but they get stiff and spiky very quickly, so I don't even know if it's worth it sometimes. And especially some of the smaller eye brushes that I was using on myself at some point, my eyes would start tearing up when I was blending with these brushes because they were just so spiky. So unless you're replacing these brushes very, very often, I don't think it's suitable for a makeup artist kit. I don't think we are going to hear about the brand for much longer anyways, but now there is plenty of options for affordable brushes. That's all the brands that I have in my kit at the moment. I know some of you recommended me to try the Omnia brushes, so that's next on my list. If you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments. I love to try new brushes. Thank you so much for spending this little moment with me. I'll put a video here for you to watch next if you want to keep hanging out. Take good care of yourself and I will see you soon. Bisous!